How's it feel to be back?
Exciting. I get chills every time I walk through the building. Just think about, my freshman year, first time walking in this building from Louisiana, and it means something. It's a special place.
As you get closer to that first game, is there a part of being back in that stadium that appeals to you most?
Absolutely. I was joking yesterday, man. There's two ways you feel. One is, when you run through that tunnel, you get the goosebumps, getting ready to touch the banner. And the second one is you just think about the Mike Gittleson days of running that stadium.
How do you and Klink divide the duties, and how has that worked so far?
Yeah, I think, for us, bringing in a new defense, new defensive scheme, we like to meet together more often than not, just so we all speak the same language, especially with Klink, Coach Klink coming in after spring ball. It's been great, just for the safeties to hear what the corners are doing and the nickels, and he and I work well together. We've had a long-lasting relationship. When he recruited West Bloomfield, I've known Coach Klink for over a decade now, so he and I work very well together.
What's the biggest adjustment been to from high school to Big Ten?
Great question. At the end of the day, you realize it's football. It's just more detail. From that standpoint. But I think all in all, it's football. The schemes are maybe a little bit more complicated than it would be at the high school level. But we have great resources here, which has helped make my transition, pretty smooth thus far.
Has the coach-player dynamic changed at all with McCarry and Donovan now that you guys are at Michigan compared to West Bloomfield at all?
It's not as weird as it was before. I remember Donovan. When he first came in, he had an issue with something, and he looked at me, and Mike and I looked at each other, and it was like, "You're not my problem anymore." But McCarry, and obviously it's a little different with McCarry, being in my position group, and McCarry knows, it's tough love. It's always going to be love, and he experienced that in high school, and don't treat him any differently than we do the other guys.
Talk about your position group a little bit and what you've seen from these guys in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the thing I love about the guys is they're students of the game. They always prepared. They're diligent in everything they do. I've been fortunate and blessed to acquire a position group that is a talented group. And when you have Brad, who's been Brad and I came in Michigan the same year, but having an experienced group like that, having a leader in our group, and obviously having Dax back there. It helps my transition, coming from high school, making a transition from high school to college. But those guys have been awesome. RJ, a guy like RJ Moden, who's, coming to his own, and Jordan Moran, and, obviously we talked about McCarry earlier. It's a good group, high character kids that their approach, they bring it every day.
Ron, you guys brought Dalen Baldwin in this offseason. I know that he's not in your group, but you remember him from high school. You remember about Dalen.
Yeah.
It was a weird recruitment, I guess. That he did.
Yeah, it was a weird recruitment. It's one of those things where, Dalen kind of having COVID and playing in the spring and playing on some ESPN games, and kind of got himself out there in the market and went to a couple workouts and dominated the workouts, and, just having a relationship coming from I guess that's the benefit of having, high school coach on staff is, have some of those relationships that you can touch the kid, and, was able to talk to Coach Gaddis about him, and, brought him in. He did some great things here, and he's another one that's had a phenomenal camp.
Coach, every college coach, there's a big element of recruiting, and there's been a lot of talk about your recruiting connections or connections to the school. What does Coach Bellamy bring as a coach, just technical with his players?
Yeah, first and foremost, just getting the kids to believe in, Coach Harbaugh has a vision, right? And just taking his vision and expanding it amongst our position group. And then the kids have bought into that, and from there, just kind of teach them the X's and O's, and doing things the right way, and playing within the scheme of the defense, and to do your job and do it to the best of your ability. And so far the guys have done that, and they're having some good results in camp.
A lot of guys on your side of the ball say they like the complexity, the versatility, the answers it gives. What, as you look at the defenses as you've gotten into it, what are your thoughts at this point?
There's answers. There's answers for problems, and in order to have answers for problems, you got to have some smart kids back there, and we're fortunate to have those kids. And Coach McDonald, he's a bright guy. He's sharp. The kids love him. I use the word vision a lot because every coach has a vision of what they want things to look like, and the coaches and players, we've all bought in and we want to execute that vision.
Is it fair to say Dax has more responsibility at this point than the other guys?
Yeah, just he's versatile. You'll be a fool not to take his skill set and just watch him do special things with it. So lots put on his plate, and he's a kid that he wants that.